Welcome. Today we're stepping into some truly dark territory, looking at true crime cases where horrific secrets were eventually somehow dragged out into the open.
Yeah, often through sheer luck, or maybe the killer's own arrogance. Sometimes just one tiny mistake.
Exactly. We've got 4 stories for you today that really pull back the curtain on the shocking things hidden behind, well, seemingly ordinary lives. We'll cover a cannibal killer caught quite literally on camera, a really gruesome case cracked by forensic art.
Oh, the reconstruction one.
Yeah, that one. Plus, the story of the internet's first known serial predator and a contract killing that just went completely sideways.
Quite a lineup.
Right. Let's start in Bradford, England. This was between 2009 and 2010. A serial killer was targeting women with a crossbow.
Stephen Griffiths. The media called him the crossbow cannibal.
That's the one.
Right.
And the name. Well, it points to the absolute depravity. He apparently consumed parts of his victims.
Hard to even comprehend.
Before he was caught, Griffiths was, known in the area, a bit eccentric, sure. People mentioned him walking a pet lizard on a leash.
Right, wearing a long leather coat, sunglasses, that kind of image.
Yeah, but apparently polite, friendly even. Absolutely no outward sign of, well, what he was actually doing.
That chilling facade.
His fatal mistake, though, came with the last murder, Susan Blay-Myers. It was all captured on CCTV in the apartment corridor.
The building managers had installed cameras, hadn't they? They were already suspicious.
They were. And the footage, it's just horrifying. You see Griffiths and Susan chatting, looking almost normal at first. Then he seems tense in the elevator.
Men.
Then, maybe 2.5 minutes later, the apartment door bursts open. Susan is running for her life, absolutely frantic.
Oh.
And Griffiths is right behind her, holding the crossbow. He grabs her, shoots her in the head with a bolt. Right there in the hallway.
Caught on camera. It's staggering.
But it gets worse. About 20 minutes later, he comes back out into the hallway.
What, to clean up?
No. He brandishes the crossbow at the camera, sticks his middle finger up at it. Pure arrogance.
Wow, that right there, that's the chilling part. The switch, 1 minute, acting normal, friendly almost, the next. This psychopathic, rage-filled killer. And then the taunting.
It's unbelievable audacity. He knew it was recording.
Yeah, and instead of trying to hide, he basically gives a confession to the camera.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about his mindset, the need to taunt.
Led to his arrest very quickly, obviously. They found Susan's body dumped in a nearby lake, along with the second victim.
And her body was heavily dismembered, wasn't it? Something
Yeah.
like 81 pieces, features removed. Just brutal.
Utterly brutal. The first victim's body was never recovered.
And he just admitted it all.
In court, yes. Introduced himself as the crossbow cannibal. Described dismembering the women in his bathtub, cooking and eating parts.
Unbelievable.
Before bagging the rest and throwing them in the lake. Police suspect he might have killed at least 5 others, too.
Just shows how someone's ego can be their complete undoing.
Absolutely. Okay, so if Griffiths shows how cameras can catch killers, our next case explores what happens when there's, well, almost nothing to go on.
Right, when you have to basically create the lead yourself.
Exactly. We're talking about the suitcase body mystery. A young woman's body, half decomposed, found in a suitcase along a highway in Wisconsin back in 2012.
A Jane Doe case, initially. Very difficult.
Completely cold.
Yeah.
So investigators tried something pretty unconventional, forensic reconstruction art.
But not the kind you usually think of.
Right. This wasn't about making a realistic, lifelike portrait. It was almost the opposite. The artists intentionally emphasized unique, sometimes even slightly unsettling features.
Like a crooked neck, maybe. Or distinctive teeth. Chipmunk-like cheeks in this case, wasn't it?
Exactly. The idea is to make the image memorable, maybe even a bit creepy, so it sticks in someone's mind. Someone specific who knew the person.
It's clever, psychologically. You're trying to cut through the noise, make one specific person go, wait a minute. Not just general recognition, but something jarring.
And it worked. This reconstruction, which some people did call creepy, caught the eye of Lorraine. She was the foster mother of a 19-year-old, Jenny Gamis.
Ah, and Jenny had lost contact.
Yeah, she'd cut off contact. But Lorraine saw the image, something clicked. Dental records confirmed it was Jenny.
Wow. That technique really paid off.
It did. And finding Jenny then led investigators to find a second suitcase nearby.
Oh, no. Another victim.
Yes. Inside was the body of 37-year-old Laura Simonson.
So, a serial killer.
Indeed. And they tracked him down. Stephen Zelich. Turned out he was an ex-cop.
An ex-police officer.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, resigned back in 2001, apparently, to avoid disciplinary action, but then worked in private security.
Okay, so what was his method? How did he connect with them?
Online. He used the username Mr. Handcuffs in BDSM chat rooms.
Mr. Handcuffs. Doesn't leave much to the imagination.
Not really. He convinced both women to meet him in hotel rooms. They've apparently engaged in breath play, binding, gagging, strangulation, which resulted in their deaths.
Horrifying. And he kept their bodies, didn't he? For quite a while.
He did. Kept them hidden in his refrigerator for months before eventually putting them in those suitcases and dumping them. Just grim.
That detail, keeping them like that, adds another layer of horror. Really highlights the disconnect.
It really does. And, that online connection, the digital footprint, that leads us straight into our next case. Back in the mid-90s.
Right, when the internet was still kind of the Wild West.
Totally. There was this urban legend going around Kansas City about a guy called Slave Master.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about this kind of thing. Online chat rooms.
Yeah.
Luring women.
Exactly. Luring women to their deaths. And it wasn't just a legend. It was terrifyingly real. The guy was John Edward Robinson.
Often called the internet's first serial killer, right? Because he used that early anonymity so effectively.
Precisely. And his motives were, complex, often financial, wrapped up in these really controlling schemes.
Calculate.
Very calculated. Look at Sheila Faith. He lured her by promising to pay medical bills for her daughter, Debbie, who had spina bifida.
Okay, so a vulnerability he exploited.
Absolutely. They both vanished. And then Robinson spent the next 7 years cashing Sheila's pension checks.
7 years? That's a long con. Incredible coldness.
Then there was Isabella Lewinka. He got her to sign this bizarrely detailed, 115-item slave contract, gave him total control over her life, her bank accounts. Then she disappeared too.
That contract? It's chilling. It wasn't just about control. It was about accessing her money, making it seem almost legitimate in a twisted way.
And Suzette Troughton met her on a BDSM site. Same fate. Robinson even sent letters to her mother, pretending to be Suzette to keep up the facade.
The level of manipulation is just off the charts.
Eventually, the investigation led police to Robinson's home, and inside, they found the bodies of Isabella and Suzette, stuffed into these heavy 85-pound chemical drums.
Just stored there. In his house.
Yeah. And it didn't stop there. They searched a storage facility nearby, found more drums filled with acid this time.
Oh, God. Who was in those?
Sheila Faith, her daughter Debbie, and another woman, Beverly Bonner. He'd lured Beverly away from her husband, promising work, just so he could intercept her alimony checks.
It always came back to money, didn't it? Underlying everything.
It seems so. But maybe the most disturbing act of all involved Lisa Stassi. He met her at a shelter for battered women.
Preying on someone already vulnerable.
Exactly. He killed her. Her body was never found. Then he forged adoption papers for her 4-month-old baby daughter.
You did what?
Forged the papers, charged his own brother and sister-in-law $5,500, and just handed them the baby. Told them the mother had committed suicide.
I have no words.
Yeah.
Selling a baby after murdering her mother, it's beyond monstrous. That's not just murder. It's trafficking, fraud, identity theft.
The scale of it is staggering. Robinson was found guilty, thankfully. He's still on death row.
An unbelievable story of digital predation meeting cold, calculated greed.
Right. Now, for our final story, we shift gears a bit. Not so much about the killer's mistake, but about sheer survival and how that exposed the plot.
Okay, a different angle.
Yeah. This is the story of Susan Kuhnhausen, September 6, 2006. Susan was a nurse and, crucially, trained in self-defense.
That probably made all the difference.
It absolutely did. She came home from work, walked in, and found a stranger waiting for her, Edward Dalton Haffey. He had a black claw hammer.
Oh, man. Ambush.
Total ambush. But Susan's training, her instincts, they just kicked in. Instead of trying to run, she actually moved towards him.
Close the distance? Smart.
Yeah.
Minimizes the swing of the weapon?
Exactly. She crowded him. He still hit her in the temple with the hammer, but it wasn't a full-force blow. It didn't stop her.
Incredible resilience.
She fought back hard, wrestled the hammer away from him, actually hit him with it repeatedly.
Turned the tables completely.
He apparently got the hammer back briefly, but she managed to get him into a chokehold.
While he still had the hammer.
It sounds like it. It was a desperate struggle, and she held on. She strangled Edward Haffey to death, right there in her house.
Wow. Just pure survival instinct, fighting for her life.
And get this, toxicology later found Haffey had a near-lethal amount of cocaine in his system at the time.
So he would have been unpredictable, maybe felt less pain, making her feat even more incredible.
Absolutely. Police quickly determined it was self-defense, obviously. Justified homicide.
Okay, so case closed.
Or, well, yes, for Susan's actions. But the question became, who was this guy? He wasn't just a random burglar. Turns out he was a hitman.
A hitman, seriously. Someone hired him to kill her.
Yes. Paid $50,000 for the job.
$50,000. Who hired him? How did they figure that out?
This is where the plan completely falls apart due to, frankly, incompetence. Police found a backpack in Susan's basement that Haffey must have left.
Okay, what was in it?
Not exactly professional hitman gear. Some cash, about $200, diabetes supplies.
Diabetes supplies, okay.
And a notebook with just 2 words written inside next to a phone number. Call Mike.
Call Mike? You're kidding? He wrote down the name of the person who hired him.
Apparently so. And Mike was Susan's estranged husband, Michael Kuhnhausen.
Her own husband hired the hitman. Unbelievable. Why?
He'd lost his job, ironically, at an adult video store, had nowhere to live. If Susan died, he stood to inherit the house.
So, classic motive. Greed. He figured he'd get the house, the money.
Seems like it. He knew the alarm codes, had a spare key. He gave all that to Haffey, and guess who Haffey was?
Let me guess. Someone Mike knew.
His former co-worker from the adult video store.
Oh, come on. This whole thing sounds incredibly amateurish for a $50,000 hit. A coworker, a handwritten note with the name.
Exactly. Utter carelessness. That note broke the case wide open. Mike was arrested almost immediately.
What happened to him?
He got 7 years in jail for solicitation to commit murder, but in a final twist, he died of cancer. On Friday the 13th, 2014, just 92 days before he was due to be released.
Wow. Karma, maybe? A bizarre end to a truly botched plot.
It really is. So looking back at all these cases, Griffiths and the CCTV taunt, Zellick and the forensic art combined with his online tag, Robinson's complex paper trail, and Mike Kuhnhausen's incredibly dumb note.
Yeah, it's rarely like the movies, is it?
Yeah.
No genius detective having a sudden epiphany. It's usually something much more mundane or just stupid, the killer's own ego or carelessness.
That seems to be the common thread. Hubris, or just a tiny overlooked detail they left behind.
Mm-hmm. The evidence is always there somewhere.
Which kind of makes you think, doesn't it? As crime potentially moves more online into spaces without physical evidence, like, say, a bloody hammer or a handwritten note, what becomes the equivalent? What's the digital call Mike note of the future?
That's a really interesting question. Something for all of us to think about, I suppose.
Yes.
The nature of evidence is always changing.
It certainly is. Well, that brings us to the end of this journey into some truly dark cases and the mistakes that brought them to light. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
As Susan Kuhnhausen powerfully put it after her ordeal, if you can't run and you can't hide, you have to fight. A chilling reminder of what survival can demand. If you found this dive into true crime compelling, please do support the channel, Horror Docs.
Mm-hmm. Helps us keep bringing you these stories.
Yeah, please hit like, share this with anyone you think might be interested, and definitely subscribe for more spooky content.
We appreciate it.
Thanks again for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on the next one.